How do you think people could deal with that mindset, that mentality of, I gave my whole life to something, whether it's a relationship, a career, a project, whatever, a business, and it doesn't work out? How do we bounce back from that?
I mean, it's hard. I think everyone has their own process. I always felt like if I worked hard enough, things would turn around. Like whenever I had a really bad moment, I said, you know, the good guy's not going to finish last. You know, I'm going to come back. I just have to double down, you know, reinvest everything in myself and come back. You know, sometimes you just need a little bit of a reset. Sometimes, you know, you need to take a break and come back to it. Sometimes, you know, it's more of just a mind over matter. There's just a lot of different ways to get from point A to point B. But I think the biggest thing is just believing in yourself, which can be very difficult to do, obviously, especially if you have like multiple setbacks in a row. But that's why I always journal.
Really?
You know, I did a lot of journaling from like a general day-to-day to when I was racing and training. I would write everything down.
Really?
Especially when things are going well. Because everyone thinks when things are going well, like this is great, it's so easy, and they forget about what they're doing, and then all of a sudden one day things aren't going well. Like, how do I get back? You know, so it's good to keep, like, I always kept notes of everything, like what runs felt good, what skis felt good, what boots felt good. And then I always had a reference point to go back to.
Was that daily, or is that just most days you were journaling?
No, daily.
Every day?
I have stacks of books, yeah.
When did you start?
Probably 2005.
So you were what, like 21 or 23 or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So for
like when
13,
I started
14
consistently
years,
winning, yeah. When I started
14 years you were like journaling consistently.
Oh, yeah. And I also, on and off, I journaled my workouts because that got a little bit excessive. It was like, there's only so much journaling one can do, but I occasionally did do my workouts as well. But
was it more like, here's what I did, here's the feeling I had, here's what worked, what didn't work though?
Yeah, like every run, you know, I would write down, you know, I tried a different line, it didn't work, I felt good, like this boot felt good, you know, this setup felt good, you know, this felt bad. I tried to do, you know, this line, it didn't work. I just, as much detail as I could give myself, I felt like the better because it's only helping me.
Where do you think you would have been if you never journaled?
I think I would have lost my way a couple times because, you know, looking back definitely gave me confidence. And thinking about, you know, remembering, you know, like how it felt to have a good run and what I was doing in that moment, you know, my own words helped me visualize that, which then translated into me finding my way again. So, you know, I don't know, I feel like...
So you would read back your journals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You talked about believing in yourself. How did you learn to believe in yourself consistently with all the setbacks though? Like, how do you stay in belief when it's like, okay, crash, failure, didn't make the Olympics here, whatever, I'm going through personal struggles in my life, whatever it might be, how do you stay in belief with yourself?
I kind of always went back to, especially when I had multiple injuries, I always went back to, why am I doing this? You know, I'm doing it because I love it. I'm passionate about it. And, you know, even if I have setbacks, I still am happy every time in the starting gate. So it's kind of like always going back to the root of why I'm there. Yes, I love winning, and that's always what I wanted to do.
Right.
There's no, you know, qualms about that. Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, when I'm putting myself through everything that I did, you know, all the rehabs and everything, I always remembered I loved it, and I wanted to go fast again. Whether I won or lost, I wanted to go fast again. Wow. So, kind of keeping things in perspective.
Yeah.
Which again is like, you know, one of the reasons why I think being injured, you know, not so many times, but you know, having injuries is just a good way to have a different perspective on things.
Yeah, and reflect and see, do I still love this or not?
Yeah.
Do I want to keep going?
Yeah.
And it sounded like you did so many times.
Yeah.
How important was mental health for you, you know, throughout your entire career? Because it wasn't really talked about until like the last 5 years, mental health and the importance of self-care and taking care of your mindset. How important was that for you? And did you ever feel like you lost it at times, or overwhelmed or stressed or depressed at certain points?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely struggled with depression for a long time, and I really? You know, was vocal about it not until 2012, maybe. And at that time, like, you know, no one was really talking about it. I hadn't told my parents, like, I didn't tell anybody, and then I just was like, this is something I really need to do, and it definitely helped me kind of process everything and like feel more comfortable about it. But I mean, you know, if being on the road is really hard, you know, you're always
alone.
in a hotel room. I'm always by myself. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people just see the athletes like on the podium and happy and like in the media. But, you know, when the cameras go off, you go back to an empty hotel room and it can be really, really hard. Again, especially because you're doing it for so long.
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video.
You know, and at the end of my career, thankfully I got my dog Lucy, so she was like my companion and always was with me, and definitely helped a lot. But it's like the loneliness really gets to you.
It is lonely. If you're training that hard for something, I mean, your team is there, and I'm sure your family are there, but at certain points, you're just alone with your thoughts.
It's isolating.
It's very isolating.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can probably relate to you.
Not really.
You have a couple peers, there's a couple other athletes you can talk to and kind of can understand your coach maybe, but
then also, you know, it's if you want to talk to somebody about it, they're not really going to have any sympathy for you.
Right.
Because you're doing well.
Look at you making money and
why are
gold
you
medal.
complaining about something? So, you know, success doesn't equal happiness. I mean, everyone says that, like, money doesn't equal happiness, success doesn't equal happiness. You have to find that, you know, on your own. But, yeah, it's just because you're successful doesn't mean you're happy. And there are definitely a lot of times where I was not happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're happy now?
Yeah, I'm actually the happiest I've ever been. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You do have a great energy about you right now.
Yeah.
Not that I knew you before, but you have a great energy about you right now. What brings you the most joy in your life?
I think just waking up every day and being excited about, you know, something new challenges, new experiences, meeting new people. I think, you know, I was so focused on skiing that I had, you know, blinders on and I didn't see, you know, a lot that was around me. And I mean, you have to do that if you want to, you know, be successful.
Best, yeah.
But I get so excited every day because I'm like, what am I going to do today? You know, am I going to wake surfing? Am I going to go mountain biking? You know, all these things that, A, I haven't been able to do just because of my sport.
Right.
And like, B, I just have never experienced. So I'm excited. It's a very exciting time. I'm very, very happy.
So it sounds like it only took you 2 years to kind of transition from the sport to feeling at peace about moving past it now, right?
Yeah.
And kind of letting it go. That's pretty quick though. Most athletes hold on to a sense of loneliness or depression or the glory days.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I miss it.
Yeah.
And it's easier in the summer because no one's racing,
Right.
you know? Like, ask me again in February when the Olympics are going on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and this past winter was the World Championships in Cortina, which is literally one of my favorite places, and I was commentating for NBC.
Oh, how was that? Watching and commentating?
I commentated I could only do a couple races, and I preferred the men because,
Oh, right, yes, not as...
you know, it's...
You're not like, I could beat these girls right now.
Exactly. I don't put myself in that position. But you know, it's like I process it as a death, a death.
Man.
You know, like it's gone. It's never coming back. Because the second you think, oh well, maybe I could do a comeback.
Oh man,
it'll really mess with your mind.
How important has rituals been in your life? Do you do a lot of rituals beyond journaling? To when you said this is like a death, have you ever like put your skis in a coffin and buried it to like allow you to process or something like that?
Yeah, I actually did the opposite. I always had like my Olympic medals in my sock drawer. I never had them out. Like I had like a nice trophy case for my other you know trophies, but I never.
You probably had a whole room for all your trophies. There've been so many of them.
I had a nice display case in Colorado, but now I moved to Utah, so I don't have. Literally everything is in storage.
But you got your.
But I have my
Olympic
medals. So
though.
my Olympic medals, I for the first time like got my gold medal framed, and I got all my World Championship medals framed.
That's
and
cool.
it was like, this is a big moment.
Of course.
And it kind of was like, this is what I did. You know what I mean?
It's not what you're doing.
Right.
Ooh,
Because it was kind of like, it's put away now. You know what I mean? Yeah, right?
There's a lot to celebrate, but my heart hurts.
Right?
Gosh.
So it was like, it was an interesting moment to do that. It seems weird and, slightly vain, but I just felt like it was like, this is what I did and it's done now. And I can look back and be happy about what I did, but it's not what I do. And it's not who I am, certainly.
Who are you?
I'm just a nice girl from Minnesota. Crashing is part of the job description. So like, if you're not ready to do that, then, you should probably not do that. But for me, I always use it as a learning tool. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? I always analyze my crashes. A lot of people can't watch their crashes because they're like, they don't